This week on the Road with Mickey, don't waste your time. 5 things to avoid doing at Disney.
We're on the road with Mickey. We're gonna have some fun. Regardless of the rain or sun, our trip has just begun. So buckle up, let's go. We're about to start the show. And maybe if you like us, you'll see where else we'll go.
Hey everyone, I'm Mike, and Sophie's back.
I have returned, and I am so glad to see the ever lovely Brenda.
Hi, everyone. You're so sweet, Sophie. I love you.
Love you too. You're a peach.
And she's got on a peach shirt.
Mm-hmm. But
And
of course
he's
we can't.
Grogu. He's
Yeah.
Grogu. We cannot forget Grogu. He's busy
No,
like,
we
I'm getting
can't.
my arm workout in, you know? Almost got my exercise move ring.
Closing his rings.
And we are on the road with Mickey. This is episode 240, what? 244 for November
Yay.
11th, 2024. And I want to say straight off, happy Veterans Day. Thank
Yes.
you to all of our servicemen and women who have fought in our wars and will fight in our wars and have put their lives on the line. And we remember all of those who paid the ultimate sacrifice today.
Yes. And even those who served and didn't go to war, thankfully, but were willing
Yeah.
to.
Yeah.
Yes.
So thank you.
Thank you. We don't say that enough.
That's
No,
true.
we
Thank you.
don't.
Thank you. Thank you.
No, we don't. Our feature topic this week is don't waste your time. 5 things to avoid doing at Disney.
Which is harder than it sounds.
I have
Because
a
this
list of
is
5 and just 5.
Yeah, just 5. This
Yeah.
is a controversial topic,
Yes.
Oh,
but that's
yeah.
okay because I live for the drama.
Please don't get mad at us. Please. These are
No,
just our opinions.
exactly. Very, very, very subjective. You know,
Very subjective.
what is not on my list may very well be on your list.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
You
And you
know,
need to let us
things,
know.
yeah. So, but first, of course, we have some cheddar from the big cheese, and I am starting us off because I'm Mike.
And
Yay.
he's the main character.
Yeah. He's a character. Ooh.
Oh, yeah. I don't know if I'm the main character. That's probably Grogu, wouldn't you think?
You're right. You're
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I missed this, but back on November 1st, Animal Kingdom Park opened up an all new morning menu at Satuli Canteen in
Oh.
Pandora. Some of their breakfast delicacies include tropical Pandoran forest fruits, which is a refreshing combination of yogurt, muesli, and honey, topped with tropical fruit for a naturally sweet start. If you're craving a twist on a classic, the cinnamon French toast comes drizzled with blueberry cream cheese and passion fruit anglaise.
Stop it.
That sounds
I
so
will.
good.
Okay.
That sounds so
It
good.
does.
And
Oh
it's
my
served
gosh.
alongside a savory sausage link for a perfectly balanced bite.
Mm-hmm.
And Sophie, I think this is you and I right here. For a more savory start, the slow roasted pork shoulder potato hash is loaded with chorizo sausage and paired with a flavorful charred onion sauce that adds a rich, smoky finish. There are other options, but these sound really appealing to me. What do you think?
I
Yum.
think I'm glad that I just had breakfast, or else you would be starving me through this entire episode.
There you go. Brenda, you going to be at Animal Kingdom during your trip?
Yeah.
You going to try one of these?
Please.
I don't know. It depends.
Oh, try
Please.
it. You try.
You
You
know,
got to.
I'm being very sparing on things that cause blood sugar spikes. So unless that's Greek yogurt, no. And I love
Okay.
them. I love the sound of them. I am really taking charge of my health right now. So I
I
probably
see.
won't. But if I decide to, I'll eat a salad first so that it levels out the blood sugar spike and then eat just a couple bites of that French toast.
There you go.
Okay.
Yeah.
All
There you
right.
go. Well, good
That
job,
is,
Brenda. You got to look
yeah.
after you. That is very important.
You're stronger than I am.
These sound awesome.
They
They
sound
do.
so
And
good.
of course, the good protein breakfast is great, but I don't like chorizo, so that's a no for me.
Yeah.
True.
Plus, it has potato. I'm not even going to go down this road.
Okay.
Hmm.
Well, you go down the next road because it's your turn.
Yes, and speaking of sweetness and yumminess and wonderfulness,
And sugar spikes.
we talked about the return of the gingerbread house at Disney's Grand Floridian Resort and Spa, but one thing we didn't mention is that this is the 25th anniversary of the first time they created that at the resort. There are now
What?
25 hidden Mickeys on the structure for you to find to commemorate the anniversary. How many can you find? We're
Oh
gonna
my
test it.
God.
We're going to test it. And you know what I've decided?
Oh,
I am going to buy a gingerbread shingle.
good.
Two. Darn it.
Hmm?
I'm going to too.
Good job.
Very good.
Yeah.
Well, speaking of sweet treats and gingerbread cookies, there is another bit of sweet news that I have. Epcot. What we've always known, it stands for the Experimental Prototype Cookies of Tomorrow. During the Christmas season this year, there are 2 new holiday kitchens in Communicore Hall, one of it which lets you sample innovative cookie creations and even decorate your own gingerbread triangle.
Super fun. I'm so
Yeah.
glad because Communicore Hall is just this big gargantuan room with nothing. And I'm so
Mhm.
grateful they got it to use for things like this. This is
Well, I
Yeah.
think this is a great way to reopen it because it's starting to finally reopen after all that work they've been doing in the park. And I think this is a great way to make that happen.
yeah,
It's
and
And
like
of,
kids
its
love to
own
decorate
opening
their cookies.
ceremony. Yes.
exactly. And of course, they're gingerbread triangles because we reported last week that there's going to be an 8-foot tall spaceship Earth made out of gingerbread.
And everyone knows that the
Wow.
spaceship Earth ball is made out of triangles.
Yep. And
Man, it's
so,
gonna
I'm
be awesome. I can't wait.
I'm excited for that. I want to
oh,
do
yeah.
that.
Yeah. I figured you would, honey. I
Hmm.
figured you would.
Can't wait.
Anyone who knows me knows that I decorate cakes for a living and I am huge about making pretty desserts. So the chance to decorate my own gingerbread triangle cookie, that is cool.
Yeah. I can't wait to see the pictures.
I wonder what kind of icing they're gonna have.
Probably royal icing they use for that, isn't it?
Hmm.
Maybe. I don't know.
I've never
Yum.
used royal icing before, but I'll give it a shot.
Yum, yum,
Yeah.
yum.
All right. Well, that is some really yummy cheddar this week.
Yeah.
I mean, cheddar is good in and of itself, but sweet cheddar is even better, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh, he made a rhyme. He's a
Yeah.
poet, didn't know it, but his feet show it because he's a Longfellow.
Oh, my dad absolutely knew it.
Well, it is time to move on to our feature topic. Of course, don't forget we have our ways to connect with us. We have our Facebook page, Facebook group, YouTube channel. If you're watching us on YouTube, hey, wave at us. Um, Instagram and email, as well as our website on theroadwithmickey.com. And from there, you can find all of those, as well as ways to connect to the audio only through our podcast links and stuff like that. So there's a lot happening on theroadwithmickey.com. You can
Yeah,
go back.
please write your comments on what your things to avoid are. We want to
Yeah,
know. We want to
I
know.
am going to post that as listener feedback for in the Facebook group. So
Awesome.
make certain that you check it out and respond. But our feature topic, don't waste your time. We're going to list 5 things. Each of us are going to list 5 things to avoid doing at Disney. And I'm going to preface this just a little bit by saying that these are on my list now for when I am in a certain point in my life. Okay.
Right.
But that doesn't mean that I never did these before and enjoyed them before. It's just
Mhm.
like a season, there's a season for everything. And sometimes you're in a season of doing one thing and then you outgrow that season and you move on to doing something else. And so that's how I kind of thought of it. And
Yeah.
these are not in any order, but actually they are kind of in alphabetical order.
Oh my goodness. Would you stop it? You're an overachiever.
But that's just the way I found them on my lists. And there may be overlap. So if there is, I apologize to Brenda and Sophie in advance.
I'm sure
It's
there's going to be
okay.
overlap.
Yeah.
But
There always
my
is.
my first one is Brenda's favorite attraction, Astro Orbiter.
You know that's on my list. You
It
can avoid that all day long.
it used to be on mine and we would ride it. But you know what? I'm a body structure that does not fit in that little rocket anymore. And it's too slow because the elevator just like takes forever to get from the ground floor up to where you load.
Yeah.
And it just and. So
There are many
for Mike
ands.
Ellis, don't waste your time on an Astro Orbiter. Now,
And for me.
if you have 5-year-old grandkids or 5-year-old children or whatever, I'll bet you they would love Astro Orbiter.
Mm,
but
Maybe, maybe not.
but not me. So that's how it's gonna roll. There you go.
All right.
which is fair. Personally, I think the Astro Orbiter can be skipped as well, but that's because you have the dueling Dumbos.
Well, that's true. Now, Brenda, you're up. Number one on your list.
Don't waste your time waiting in line at Starbucks or any
Ooh.
other quick service location. I am a huge fan of mobile ordering. Huge fan of mobile ordering. I think it's one of the best things Disney came out with. And why would you stand in line for an hour at Starbucks to get a coffee if you can mobile order it, just pick it up?
That is absolutely 100% true.
You know what? I'm already seeing that Brenda is the overachiever, not Mike Ellis. Brenda, because not only did she say, don't waste your time doing this, she gave an alternative suggestion. I'm like, just don't do it. So
But the point of not doing it is mobile ordering because it's
good
great.
job, Brenda. Good job.
Thank you. Thank you. You know me and food.
Yep.
She's got a huge, huge point, though.
She does. She does.
She
Well,
has a
Sophie, what is
huge point.
yours? I'm dying to know.
All right, mine is admittedly a lot of the things that I came up with are things that are being solved. Okay, but I still can't stand these things so much that I still need to talk about them while I can. Do not waste your time trying to bring your kid onto a scary ride. Okay? Don't waste your time trying to do it. You're just going to scare them. They're never going to want to ride it again until they're maybe in their teens and they realize, okay, I'm not going to die from this, or they're just never going to do it again. And then you're going to be upset that you and your kid got scared by something. I'm specifically talking about It's Tough to Be a Bug and Dinosaur. Those two rides scare me so much, and I'm glad they're getting rid of It's Tough to Be a Bug, but
Well, that was
it's
also on my list specifically. It's tough to be a bug because it'll scare children, little children.
yes. The
Yeah.
best thing to do if you're going to spend time doing anything, spend some time researching some of these rides that you're not familiar with. If you if you see here that It's Tough to Be a Bug is labeled as scary or something like that, and you know your little one doesn't like scary things, skip it. I had no idea what we were going into when we watched that
Neither did
show.
we. Neither did
Neither did
we.
they. It's
I agree with you on not doing things that you have found out might scare your children, but I am of the camp that I made my children do everything. I made them do everything once. If they hated it, they never had to do it again. If they liked it, they would have missed out if I hadn't made them do it. So I made them do it all once, and then they could make their decision after that. But
a fair
it
point.
might depend on,
It depends on the family and the children and all that.
well, and also
Yeah.
back then when we were first doing Disney, there weren't all these podcasts telling you
Mm-mm.
that certain things were
And
scary.
YouTube videos of
Yeah,
point of view rides and all that. Yeah.
Right.
So
So take it for what it's worth. If your children are worried about humongous bugs coming to life and exterminating you while you're in the audience, you probably don't want to do it. It's tough to be a bug.
Oh yeah.
probably.
Well, admittedly, there are take what I said with a grain of salt, because there are also rides that scared me when I was a little girl that I love now. I was terrified of Splash Mountain until I turned 12 or something, and even then, the first time I rode that ride, it was a horrific experience for me until it was over, and then I was like, that wasn't that bad. I want to do that
Yeah.
again.
See, you would have missed out on it if you hadn't
And the
tried
same
it.
thing with the Haunted Mansion. My parents took me on that ride. We didn't make it past the pre-show because I was terrified. And then
And
we
look at
went
you
back.
now.
Oh yeah, Haunted Mansion is my favorite.
Yep.
Yeah.
You know, I will never forget
I'm
the
sorry I'm
fly,
laughing. But
the
now it's over
flying
with.
hat. The flying
Don't
hat.
don't be sorry for laughing.
I'm
It was a really funny
I know it was
experience.
It was
traumatic,
In
terrible.
but
hindsight.
Yeah, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I lost my hat, and it's sitting there in Sophie's lap, and she's screaming, oh! And I don't blame you,
Yeah,
honey. I would have been screaming probably
okay.
too.
I
But
thought
oh my
it
gosh,
was in the beehive scene, and I was very, very scared of bees when I was
Yeah.
little. I've never been stung before. So when Daddy's hat fell into my lap, I thought a hive had just landed on me and I was about to die a painful death.
And it's dark in there, so you can't tell. You're
yeah.
little.
Exactly.
Glad you got
Good
over that
times,
though.
good times,
We're
right?
still
So
talking about
good times.
Mommy will absolutely bring up the fact that I almost broke her arm on that
Oh
ride.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Oh god.
All right. Well, good trip down memory lane, huh?
Nothing like trauma to
Yeah.
lighten up the mood.
We're subtitling this one "Relive Your Childhood Memories with Sophie."
Hindsight is 2020.
Well, my next one, again, I'm gonna say that this is something we have done, and actually, Sophie really enjoyed it, and I didn't mind it either. But it's a season that has passed, and so for me, don't waste your time at the boneyard.
Ah.
That's
You know
fair.
what? And the only reason I say that, I mean, obviously, if you have kids that like to dig and find bones and stuff like that and do or that's all great, and I love that. But there's also a lot of things to do at Disney, and spending an hour or whatever looking for a bone that's sticking up out of the sand already is also not a good use of time, perhaps. So again,
My girls
Yeah.
never searched for the bones, but they loved the slides and all that playground area.
For me,
yeah,
it was all about uncovering that dinosaur fossil that was probably cemented to the ground underneath all the sand.
yeah. But
Yeah.
anyway, that's number two. The
There
boneyard
you
is
go.
number two on my list.
All right, there
Yeah.
you go. Well, my number two is, when this is going to sound horrible, but I'm sorry. When I'm at Disney for a number of days, I get sick of riding the buses. And so we use like Lyft a lot of the times and just get dropped off at the park if I'm kind of over it. But don't waste your time taking any kind of shared ride service to the Magic Kingdom because you will not save time. They can't drop you off at the Magic Kingdom. They take you to the Transportation Ticket Center. Then you either have to take the monorail or you have to take the boat across. That does not save you time. So if you're going to do any shared ride service, you can use it for Epcot or Hollywood Studios or Animal Kingdom. Don't bother using it for Magic Kingdom.
That is a very, very, very good point.
That is
Because,
a great suggestion.
yeah, we have no idea about shared ride services when it comes to the parks because we always use the Disney transportation.
Hmm.
Well, it's free.
Almost always.
Almost
the only
always.
exception is if we're going like resort to resort.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Because you
That's
can't.
because
Yeah.
it's a lot harder.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You have to hip hop around. Hip hop around.
Daddy, remember that time we got on the wrong bus?
Yeah, we ended up at Saratoga instead of at where? A French
Fort
Quarter for
Orleans.
beignets.
Yep.
Yeah,
It was funny though.
it was funny, and I will still say I was right. They was in the wrong lane, and they went the wrong way. But that's okay. I am not bitter.
No. It's just a memory that you talk about still, and it was one of your memories, and that's what life's all about.
Honorable mention: don't take the wrong bus.
Honestly, Daddy, though, it was pretty funny. And we
It
made
was
some
funny.
nice
And we met some
acquaintances.
new friends. Yep.
Yeah.
All right, Sophie, what's number 2 on your list?
Number 2, don't waste your money buying clothes at Disney. Because the thing of it is I know we're talking about don't waste your time, don't waste your money. I know you're going through the gift shops at the end of the day, making your way to the front of the park in the air conditioning instead, and your eye catches this amazing t-shirt or dress or whatever it is, and you're like, I need to have that. But then you look at the price tag and it's like $80 for a t-shirt or $120 for a dress or something like that. I know I've looked at that. I've seen these prices. If you are at Disney for long enough, especially if you're staying there through the end of a holiday and for a few days after, there are outlets in Florida. You can take an Uber or something and go to these outlets where they will sell the Disney merchandise that is out of season now, and they sell it at really discounted prices. Really discounted prices. I've gotten a dress that would cost $120 for 30 something at the Disney outlets.
There you go.
So yes, it's not so much a don't waste your time because it does take a day out of your trip in order to go to these outlets to find these things, but it will save you so much money.
Yeah, plan that day ahead of time to go to the outlets.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
All right.
All right. That's a great suggestion, Sophie.
Yep.
Because
Thank you.
time is money.
That's true.
And so you are saving money by sacrificing a little bit of time. So
Yep.
good suggestion, Sophie.
Thank you.
All right. Number 3 on my list is don't waste your time riding dinosaur.
Uh-oh.
I mean, Sophie was screaming. I was screaming. There was a young man, like a little guy who was a little bit older than Sophie. Excuse me a second. Who was screaming, and that's what started us screaming.
I was 6. You have to give me some credit
Yeah.
here.
Yeah. And ever since then, We have not really enjoyed it. We've been on it more recently just because we wanted to get out of the heat and it was air conditioned.
Yeah.
And it wasn't as bad
Lovely
then.
reason.
But now here's the question. It's being changed into the Indiana Jones thing. So, will it be worth trying, Sophie?
Have you done the Indiana Jones at Disneyland, Sophie?
No.
Jagan and Aunt
Oh.
Sheila swear up and down that I did,
It's going to
but
be about
I
the same.
specifically remember getting into that line and taking the chicken exit at the very last minute.
I have
But
never done it.
They swear up and down that I went on that ride with them. And if I did not like it.
And you
I'm guessing
blacked
it's
it
going to
out.
be exactly the same because it's almost exactly the same at Disneyland as Dinosaur is at
Well,
Walt
yeah,
Disney.
I've seen,
Mhm.
my dad and I, we watched the behind the scenes attraction tours that were on Disney Plus. They are on Disney Plus. And one of their episodes was about Indiana Jones, and it talked about the
Really
ride
cool, too.
mechanics and the making of it all. And they talked about how it takes you out of the park and into the actual ride building because the ride building's outside of the Disneyland property, but you go underneath everything to get there. It talked about all of that. But the thing I took away from it is the ride mechanics for Indiana Jones are the exact same as they are for Dinosaur, even down to the vehicles that are used. Those are the
Yeah.
exact same vehicles.
Yeah, it's very, very, very similar.
Yeah. I think it'd be worth trying.
You got to try it once, if you're my kid.
Brenda
I-
says so. She
I
has
think
spoken.
if you get me on that ride, you owe me some sort of treat.
Okay, we'll go to
Treats
get
around
some
for
ice
days,
cream.
honey. Oh, yeah.
Very
Yeah.
good. And if
Okay.
Jagan goes on that ride with me, she owes me a trip on Expedition Everest.
There you
Yeah.
go.
That's a win-win.
The way you do it is you play it off like I am sacrificing by writing this for you.
Mhm.
You know, even though you might enjoy it in the end.
That's right.
That's
That's
how
right.
it goes.
Play it
Jagan
off.
and I love Jagan, I do, but I remember the time where we were headed towards Expedition Everest after riding a ride that she wanted to go on, but I was scared of. I think it was Dinosaur. And all of a sudden, as we're halfway there, she's like, I don't feel very good. And at first, I was concerned because she has an allergy and we had just eaten. So I was worried she'd
Uh-oh.
had a reaction or something. But no, she was fine. She was faking it because she didn't want to go on
Uh-oh.
Expedition Everest.
Yeah.
Well, she could have worked herself up to being sick, being afraid
That's
of
true.
Expedition Everest too.
That's
You can
true.
make yourself sick, stressing out. So
I know,
That's true.
I know. But she was fine.
I'm
Yeah.
glad she's fine.
Yeah, she was fine.
And your friendship lived through it, of course.
Of course. All right,
Sisters.
Brenda.
All right.
Number
Well,
3 on your list.
My third one is don't waste your time waiting in line and then spending 20 to 30 minutes watching a show if you are not a show person. And I put that in quotes because some people don't like shows. They don't want to stand in line for a show and then be stuck in there for 30 minutes watching a show. So don't waste your time if you're not a show person. And there's a lot of
Yeah.
shows. There's Enchanted Tiki Room is a show. Country Bear Jamboree is a show. Beauty and the Beast a show. Festival Line. There's a lot of shows. So
Mhm.
unless you are either like if you have a child that loves Elsa and Anna, you have to go to the sing-along show at Hollywood Studios. Period. But if you're not a show person, you might not want to do some of these shows. So you should not waste your time doing that.
Good job, Brenda.
That's my opinion.
PSA from Brenda. In fact, these
Yeah.
are all PSAs, aren't they?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Every single one of these.
Yeah, it's like the flight, what is it? Feathers of Flight at Animal Kingdom. To me, that's a one and done attraction. I mean,
Yeah.
I've done it.
Yeah.
Now, if you haven't done it, then you might want to do it if you like birds specifically or you like things like that. But
Mm-hmm.
All of this is, like Mike said earlier, is very subjective. So please keep that in mind.
Yeah.
You're right. You're right.
All right, Sophie.
All right. And this one, I'm sure, is obvious to most people, but I feel like it needs to be said anyway. Do not go to Disney Springs on a Friday, Saturday, or Sunday night. Just don't. It is so crowded there because Disney Springs is like the downtown of the Disney property. And anyone who has a downtown in the city where they live knows that it's known for its nightlife. And the same can be said for Disney Springs. They have so much to do there, and so many people like to do it on the weekends and whatnot, that if you go there on a Friday night, I know because we've accidentally made that mistake before. You go there on a Friday night, you're not going to be able to walk without being shoulder to shoulder and elbow to elbow with everyone.
Yeah, and
You know
that's
what?
seasonal, but you're right. You don't have to have a ticket to go to Disney Springs. So anybody, anywhere can go to Disney Springs anytime. So especially when it's
Mhm.
heavy season, it's
And
Yep.
you know
super
what?
crowded.
I
Great
applaud you,
tip.
Sophie.
Very,
I
very good.
applaud you because you went to Disney Springs on that Friday night, research for the podcast when we were looking for those various things that were hard to find, and someone, when we were doing the listener feedback, and someone
Someone
had
had
asked the
me go
question.
into a fitness store looking
That's
for
right.
snacks.
That's right.
Yep. And I copped out and I stayed home. And
The
I
things I
enjoyed
do for
just
you guys.
relaxing while they were all
Yes.
at Disney Springs fighting a million people.
Yes, she is such a giver.
She is.
It's all
She
right.
is a giver.
I wanted to go to Disney Springs anyway, and that was the only
Yeah,
chance I had to on that trip. I
that's
didn't
right.
buy anything, but as a girl, I love to shop. Okay? So
I
the
hate shopping.
idea of being what?
I hate shopping. I
Really?
am
I
not a regular girl here.
I
It's
didn't realize
okay.
that, Brenda. I thought you loved shopping.
Mm-mm.
It's
Well,
fine.
Cindy's not a huge shopper either.
She'll take me shopping if I ask her though.
Hmm.
Sophie can do all of our shopping.
Yep.
We were shopping for some things the past weekend, and we stopped by a Barnes and Noble to look at Christmas gifts for some of our cousins because our cousins like books, most of them. And it was a good thing that mommy was there with me because I told the guy at the register when we were checking out, if she wasn't there, half the store would have been bought.
Yep. She had to
Yep.
keep you reeled in. That's
Yeah.
what happens in bookstores for sure.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I love shopping, and I love Disney Springs for that reason.
Well, that was a
Well,
great suggestion.
that is a great suggestion. Um, Number 4 on my list has been touched upon, and I'm going to reiterate: do not waste your time with "It's Tough to Be a Bug." And thankfully, it is going away soon and probably will be replaced with something that we will not like either. But
Well, you
Well,
never
it's gonna
know.
be replaced with the Zootopia thing, so
I
how
okay,
can
like
that's
it.
true.
Zootopia be scary?
Well, that's true. So hopefully it'll be good.
Yeah.
But don't be holding your breath waiting, oh my gosh, I gotta do "It's Tough to Be a Bug" one more time before it closes. Don't worry about that.
Yep. Yep.
Don't
I
So
worry
agree.
about it.
Totally agree.
yeah. So that's number 4. I'm almost done with my list.
Yep.
Yeah?
Yep. We only have a couple more. Well, my number 4 is don't waste your time writing mission space. Hated it. Hated it. I don't care that there's now an version of green. I wrote it when it was like 2 days after it first opened, and I was sick for a month. I am not going near that thing. No.
And you
But
know
they
what?
did
You're in
make a green line and an orange line after so many people got sick from it. So if you have a propensity to get sick, just
through the green
get
line.
in the green line. Avoid the orange line.
But if you know you've gotten sick like Brenda has, then you're smart. That's not just you're looking after number one and making sure that you don't ruin your trip by
Exactly.
doing it and ruin the rest of your time. So
Exactly.
that is smart. That's smart advice, Brenda.
Yay.
Yeah, that is smart advice. I personally love mission space.
Yeah. And that's why this is all subjective and to
Yeah.
each
Yep.
their own, right?
Yep. Yep. Everyone is entitled to their opinion. And
Yeah.
Aunt Brenda's is extremely valid, but so is mine.
Yeah. Well, what is
Mhm.
your number 4, Sophie?
And my number 4, and this is just me because I'm a very particular way when it comes to how I do Disney. Don't waste your time trying to do everything, okay?
Mm.
And especially as when you're on your own and you're like me and you don't have a whole bunch of littles who want to do this, and this, and they don't care how they get it done, don't buy Genie Plus. Don't do it. Don't do it. It's
Which
not
is now
worth
Lightning
it.
Lane Multipass.
Yeah. And for Aunt Brenda, it works very well because she's got the littles and she's got a huge big family. But for me and my dad and my mom, we don't need it.
Yeah. And we
Just
might
wait
do
in the line.
some on our Epcot day. We might buy it for Epcot.
Which is understandable. But
So we'll see. We're not buying it
yeah.
for Magic Kingdom because we're going for the party.
Mhm.
Um,
Too fun. I can't wait.
I
Yeah.
know.
Neither can I.
Can't wait for you to see our
Uh,
Pajamas.
pajama
yeah.
ensembles.
We're wearing our pajamas too, but y'all's are gonna y'all are going over the top with it. We're just chilling it. Yep. I can't wait to see. It's gonna be so much fun.
It is. Can't wait.
Yay.
Neither can I. Ooh.
All right. My last option, my last one on my list is somewhat controversial, I think.
Ooh.
I've never done it. We've never done it. But I don't see myself wasting the time on doing it. Unless you live close or something, then it might be worth it.
Mm.
But to me, I don't want to waste my time going to Splitsville for bowling and dinner. To me,
No.
that's just not a good use of time.
No, because you can do that at home.
Mm-mm.
Right. So don't waste your time going to Splitsville Luxury Lanes, which is
Yep.
at Disney Springs.
Yeah. You
Yeah.
can do it at home. Don't do it there. Do all the stuff you can't do at home because there's
Mhm.
enough of that
Yeah.
for sure.
So
That's a great suggestion.
thank you.
You're welcome. Well, my number 5 is probably not controversial. Well, I guess it could be if you really care that much about how you look. I don't, obviously. But
Whatever.
don't waste your time. Okay, first I'll preface this with this. If it's not lightning or thundering, don't waste your time trying to find cover or make an alternate plan because you're in rain. Put your poncho on,
Mm.
get on that ride, and you are going to have a blast. It's not going to matter what you look like when you take the thing off your head unless you really, really care about what you look like. If you've paid for a professional photographer in an hour, you might not want to do it. But some of our best time has been when it is pouring down rain, but not lightning at the parks. 50 million people leave. We get on Everest and get to ride 10 times in a row because there's no line. And we're laughing at ourselves because we look like Oompa Loompas. And it's the most fun memories we've ever had. It's so much fun.
So, what I wrote down, correct me if you need me to revise it. I wrote down, don't waste your time trying to stay out of the rain.
That's right. Yeah,
Yeah.
because you'll be spending your time trying to figure out where to go to be covered, and then you're like, well, what do we do now that, because a lot of times, especially like in June, it rains hard for like 15, 20 minutes and then it's done.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you're right. The exception is lightning and thunder.
Right.
And that's what we ran into when we were going to see For King and Country at the
Yeah.
Food and Wine. And everyone made a break because it was pouring like hurricane pouring of
Yeah.
rain, and the lightning was, and the thunder was boom, 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 and we were all
Mhm.
standing underneath the porch to American Adventure Pavilion.
Oh, I'm so sad y'all missed them. They're so awesome.
Yeah,
It's okay.
one day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's very few, like people think that if it rains, all the rides shut down, but there are very few rides that shut down when it rains, actually. Very
Yeah.
few. So,
Many of
and you
them
can
are the
just go to the
outdoor
wait times
ones.
on your app and see if it's closed. It'll say, that it's not working, but
Yes.
most of them they just keep running.
Yeah.
It's fun.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
good call, Brenda.
But
That's my
that is
number 5.
actually a really good segue into my number 5. And
Yay.
my number 5 is, don't waste your time walking all the way to the ride to check the wait times. That is what the app is for. And those who know that the app and the ride itself will actually hike up the wait times in the queue by, depending on the ride, 15, 20 minutes
Mm-hmm.
to dissuade people from getting into line. It keeps the line shorter that way. So if you don't trust the app or you don't trust the line queue itself, there are ways that you can find the real wait times for these rides just by Googling it on your phone. So don't go into this blind. If you are like, I want to ride Tower of Terror, and you get
Yay.
all the way there and the line says 120 minutes, and even if you subtract that 20 minutes, you're still looking at over an hour and a half wait, you're going to be like, I don't want to do that. And so you're going to go somewhere else. And you walked all
And
that
eat ice
way.
cream.
That's
True.
right.
But you walked all that way into that one corner of Hollywood Studios where there's nothing else because
Just
you
shopping.
you don't want to ride Rock and Roller Coaster.
Except ice cream.
Yeah. Ice cream and shopping, which are both good, but when you want to ride a ride, you want to ride a ride. So why
True.
go all the way over there when you could just check your phone and be like, "Oh, that's too long of a wait for me. I'm going to go find something else."
Yep.
That's a great
Good
suggestion.
good suggestion.
Yes.
Don't be afraid of the technology.
Mhm.
Utilize the app. It's there to help. And I get the whole premise of you don't want to spend your whole time staring at your phone like this, and that's true, and I don't either.
Yeah.
But glance at it every now and again. Say, hey, we want to go do Carousel of Progress, and Brenda says, Mike, don't do it. It's a 175-minute wait because it broke 3 hours ago, and we don't know when it's going to open. And you're like, oh, okay, good to know.
Imagine if the Carousel of Progress did break, though. All those people would be stuck inside that theater, wouldn't they?
No, they get them out.
They have the emergency exits. They
Yeah.
have the ways to get them out.
You're
So,
right. You're right.
anyway, good advice.
Yeah.
And that is 5 for each of us. Just like
Yep.
that.
Just like that.
So, here's the ultimate question. I'm going to post it in the Facebook group. What is on your list of things at Disney that you don't waste your time on? Let us know. I'm going to post it. Leave us a comment, and we will feedback and report your feedback in next week's episode. So,
Yay. Thank you in advance.
thank you. Yeah. But now, Sophie, it is time for this day in Disney history for November 11th. So take it away.
All right. Well, the year is 1956.
Nice.
A very good year, in my opinion. And the day is November 11th, as we said. Walt Disney appears as a mystery guest on the TV game show What's My Line?
Oh,
Hosted by
wow.
John Daly, it is one of the earliest successes of Mark Goodson / Bill Todman Productions.
I
That
remember that episode. That's out there on YouTube.
it's on YouTube. I have seen it 30
Me
times
too.
maybe. It is so good.
Well,
Oh
I
my
need to
gosh.
go refresh my memory
Go
now.
watch it, Sophie. It is
Yeah.
so good. And Walt
Walt
is
is
a
always good.
he is always good. He was a genius. He still is a genius. But he Sophie, he would change his voice so
Really?
to make it hard for people to figure out who he was. And
Yeah.
it's so good. You
He's
gotta Google
awesome.
that, Sophie.
Wow.
He is
Gotta
so
go look
awesome.
it up. Go look it up. It is incredible. It is one of the best What's My Line episodes, obviously.
Fantastic.
And I'm not biased at all.
Not at all.
Not at all. Anyway, do that afterwards though, because it is time for
Yes.
Stumping Sophie.
Bum, bum, bum.
You
Good
can
luck.
Stump the Soph. You can try.
Good luck.
Yeah, I need a lot of luck. All right, you ready, Sophie?
I'm ready.
Character names. You guess the movie.
All right.
Mm-hmm.
Skippy Bunny.
Skippy Bunny.
Yep,
Skippy Bunny.
that one's a little harder, wasn't it?
Yeah, just a little.
How about Lady Cluck?
Oh, Robin Hood.
There you go.
Ah,
Bing, 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 bing,
very
bing, bing,
good.
bing.
Yay.
The other one was Alan Adale. Do you know who Alan Adale is?
No.
Alan Adale is the narrator of the movie, and he's the rooster. The rooster with the mandolin.
I don't think he was named in the film itself. Like, he
Well,
might
I
have
don't
been
know.
named by the production and the animators and whatnot, but his name was never mentioned in the film.
Well, you better go watch it because it says Alan Adale is also one of Robin's men and is instrumental in trapping Sir Hiss during the archery contest. So, sounds to me
Yeah.
like he would have had a name mentioned.
Hmm.
But anyway, good job,
That's
Sophie.
awesome. As always.
Thank
Yep.
you.
Ain't no stumping that, Soph.
Ain't no stumping her.
Ain't no stumping that, Soph. Sounds like a wrong song going on. Yeah, yeah. Anyway.
Oh, goodness.
Oh,
All
gosh,
right, Brenda.
amazing. Totally
Bring
amazing.
us back to some form of semblance and decorum, please,
Oh, good luck
with
with
a
that.
little bit of Walt.
Okay, since the
Walt
beginning
can
of
do it, right?
yeah, you can. Since
Okay.
the beginning of mankind, the fable tellers have not only given us entertainment, but a kind of wisdom, humor, and understanding that, like all true art, remains imperishable through the ages. Yep. I'm so grateful that everything he created remained imperishable through the ages and has blessed our
Mhm.
lives so many times.
Yes.
Yeah,
I am too.
yeah. I am 3. There you go.
The amazing Walt Disney.
And in line with that quote,
I have to say something.
go for it.
You people out there listening, if you've been with us anytime, are just as shocked as I am that Mike left off a particular time saver today. And that is, don't waste your time walking to Frontierland or Fantasyland when you can ride the
The
Walt Disney World Railroad.
Oh, yeah. See, that would be yeah. I didn't think about it that way. I was thinking about
So
attractions.
I will contend that, Aunt Brenda, and I will say one thing.
Okay.
It is so much quicker to walk there than it is to ride the railroad. One
Well,
does not ride the railroad to save time. One rides the railroad to enjoy the magic of the railroad.
that's true.
Uh-huh.
But if they're just getting ready to leave and you can hop on, I think it would save you time to get to Frontierland.
Perhaps, but in order to get up to the railroad, you have to go up those steps into
Yeah.
the thing.
Yeah. It's
And then, of
amazing.
course, there are all the other people wanting to ride the train with you.
Yeah, but if you're catching it right, just right, when they're getting ready to leave, everyone else is on board, and you're just go right up and get on and go.
Maybe. I
You know,
suppose.
Mike is our Walt Disney World Railroad lover times a
Yeah.
billion.
Yep.
Yes, 100%.
That never crossed my mind because then to me it sounds like I'm saying don't waste your time doing the railroad.
Oh no, no,
And
no.
I was thinking in
It goes all the
creating
way to
my
the back.
list, I was thinking of all the things. Don't waste your time doing this attraction or that attraction.
Yeah.
And the only one that I kind of deviated from is the Splitsville at the end.
Yeah.
So because that's not an attraction, that's like a venue where you would
Yeah.
make a reservation and go to. But
Yeah.
so it never crossed my mind, Brenda.
Mhm.
I just always think of the railroad when I see you because you're the railroad. You know where it stops back there in Fantasyland is way back there, like
Uh-huh.
way back there. So it's like
Yeah. Yeah. But that was a fun episode.
oh yeah.
Mhm.
Next week, Sophie mentioned an episode last week, and I am going to pull it out for next week.
Well, thank you.
It
I know
is
which one you're talking about.
coming next week, our top 5 educational attractions at Walt Disney World. And I think what we should probably do is list them and like all of us come up with the total list of 5 and not each of us have 5 because I think there would be overlap, but maybe dive down into what makes this attraction or that attraction really cool from an educational standpoint.
Awesome.
Oh,
So it
Sound
won't
like
be
a
as
good
tough to
idea?
be a bug then.
No,
No,
nothing about.
no.
Mm-mm.
No.
I don't think so. I think Astro Orbiter will probably stay off the list too.
I think you're probably right. Yep.
I mean, prove me wrong. Maybe I'm wrong. But anyway. Anyway, that is next week. Our top 5 educational attractions at Walt Disney World. So until then, we hope you all have a great week. A really, really, really good week.
An excellent
Hopefully there
week.
is an excellent week. Hopefully there is a smile on your face, and hopefully we have brought you a smile from our show. With Brenda and Sophie, I always expect smiles, but for me, maybe not so much. I don't know. But
you always
anyway,
smiling.
Anyway, if you see someone without a smile, please give them one of yours because it'll be okay. And if you're having a rough week, we hope someone gives you one of theirs to make you feel better. But until next week, I am Mike. She's Sophie. That's Brenda. That's Walt over her shoulder. He's Grogu. That's the castle. This is the pool at Coronado Springs Resort. And we will
See you on the road.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye everyone.